And that's for the piggies in every US city thinking a seat in the back row is Porsche because of European history. They miss seeing the monocle though, so I be in the front row on days I'm making dough. All alone, in the zone, on the phone, until the trailers go off the screen, along with all those production companies that never did a thing for me.
While watching Motor City, I couldn't help but think about how John Woo's Silent Night handles the premise of the silent vengeance film far better than Ponzi ever could. There's nothing wrong with this film's aesthetic. I love the vengeance angle. The cinematography is gritty and lit mostly by neon. And since the picture is set in the 70s, there's a whole lot of American muscle and Colombian coke going around while Donna Summer and Fleetwood Mac play in the background. The cast isn't nothing to sneeze at either. Alan Ritchson is the best gentle giant money could buy. Ben Foster looks like a complete rat. And Amar Shadal Patel, along with Lionel Boyce, do a great impression of a B-list A-team. But within the cast is the red herring, where all of the problems around this film cave in under, and that is by casting plain Jane Shailene Woodley as some sort of Helen of Troy. No, I'm unconvinced that some stock factory issue middle of America broad can be the catalyst for this much mayhem. I understand this was decades before social media, but passports still existed. And even if the main cast fighting over Woodley's character were both barred from international travel, the ratio between men and women in the States is still staggering enough to completely forget Woodley's character's name, let alone her entire existence. There's no way that she would cause these guys to engage in all-out guerrilla warfare in the D, involving elaborate setups and the death of so many toy soldiers. Then again, people have done stupider things in the name of love. This is an action movie, but not all action movies need to be completely ridiculous. Again, Silent Night's protagonist was going to war over the death of his kid that got hit by a stray bullet. The same can't be said about Woodley's character, who makes poor choices throughout the film to move the plot along, which would come to a halt if both the protagonist and antagonist would just leave her alone. This girl is mine narrative loses its magic fast because fighting for females that are mostly interested in selling themselves into servitude for the highest bidder robs the male audience this film is aimed at from seeing these women as something to rush into battle for, let alone long for, which the protagonist is forced to do while facing a life sentence in one instance. If this film dropped in the 70s, Motor City would have the chops to be a cult classic. But in the age of Aquarius, this film is an ill-timed, violent fairy tale where the princess isn't worth a rescue and the king should have kicked her out of the Clinton Township castle long ago.
Pop your popcorn, that's for the piggies in every US city thinking a seat in the back row is Porsche because of European history. They miss seeing the monocle though, so I be in the front row on days I'm making dough. All alone, in the zone, on the phone, until the trailers go off the screen, along with all those production companies that never did a thing for me.